leaders must recognize that AIDS pandemic is still an emergency. Right now, the world is unprepared to end AIDS. We are not moving fast enough to end AIDS.
UNAIDS, the joint United Nations program on HIV/AIDS, has issued a stark warning that if leaders fail to tackle inequalities, the world could face 7.7 million AIDS-related deaths over the next 10 years.
We see that the huge inequalities that are within countries and between countries are preventing us from achieving this progress across the world. Globally, the curves are not bending fast enough to stop the pandemic. Last year, our data showed that 1.5 million people were newly infected. So the infections are moving along the fault lines of inequality. 6 out of every 7 young people who are newly infected in sub-Saharan Africa are girls. It shows you we have to close the inequalities in order to stop these deaths. That's why the message is so important on this World AIDS Day. We're making progress, but not fast enough. If we don't act fast enough, we're going to have a tougher problem, more costly problem to try to solve, and more deaths. Inequalities are driving the pandemic of HIV. Inequalities are also driving COVID pandemic. You have two colliding pandemics. So it's getting harder and harder to win, but you have to win on HIV/AIDS. If you can win against HIV/AIDS, you can also win against COVID because it takes the same strategies to win. These goals are not just aspirational, they are achievable. So I remain optimistic that we can achieve the goal of ending AIDS as a global health threat by 2030, but we have to do business differently. We have to see that in every country we are closing the inequalities that drive it, and that we are doing those things we know are important. 1, put communities at the center of responses. 2, equal access to health technologies. 3rd, human rights. We must put human rights at the center and close human rights gaps for those who have no rights. So these are some of the things that we need to do if we are to get to the end of this epidemic, and we need to do them quickly. And China domestically has shown strong political commitment to fighting HIV. Despite the impact of COVID, the testing for HIV continued. So China is playing its role in the governance and is also a member of our global HIV prevention coalition. So we find that China has the political commitment and is putting its weight behind this. We appreciate China's support, but would like China to contribute more to the global AIDS response in the future.